Hey Vikings faithful, Skull Nation, what's good? It's your boy, hyped up and ready to dive into the latest Minnesota Vikings news as we barrel toward the 2025 season. The roster cutdown deadline is breathing down our necks, and the purple and gold are making moves that have us all on the edge of our seats. From blockbuster trades to sneaky free agent targets, there's a storm brewing in Egan, and I'm here to break it all down. Are you ready to unpack the chaos and see what's next for our Vikings? Let's dive in, Skull. We're starting with a bombshell that just dropped. The Vikings traded away Harrison Phillips to the Jets, clearing space for a young defensive tackle to shine. This move screams confidence in our youth movement, but it's also raised some eyebrows. Why now? What's the plan? It's a bold strategy from GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, showing he's not afraid to shake things up to build a roster ready for a Super Bowl run. So, who's stepping up to fill that gap on the D-line? Buckle up, because we're about to find out. What do you think about this trade, Vikings fans? Are we making the right call letting Phillips go? Or is this a risky move? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get this conversation rolling. The Vikings are clearly betting on their young talent, but the clock's ticking, and we've got more questions than answers as we head into the final roster cuts. The wide receiver room is straight up screaming for help, and it's no secret why. With Jordan Addison sidelined by suspension and Jalen Nailor nursing a hand injury, the Vikings are in desperate need of a playmaker to line up next to Justin Jefferson. The depth chart is looking thinner than a Minnesota winter, and fans are buzzing about who could step in. Will Kwesi pull off a miracle trade? Or are we scouring the free agent market? This is a Week 1 crisis and the pressure's on. Names like Adam Thielen keep popping up. Imagine the homecoming vibes if he returns to US Bank Stadium. But the Panthers are playing hardball, and other options like KJ Osborne or Brandon Powell could be cheaper and just as effective. Then there's Trey Palmer from Tampa Bay or even Jacoby Myers for a splashy rental. The possibilities are endless, but who's the best fit to keep our offense humming? I'm leaning toward a savvy veteran, but what's your take? Vikings fans, who do you want catching passes from J.J. McCarthy in Week 1? Thielen for the nostalgia, or someone new to shake things up? Hit the comments with your dream pickup and let's debate. The clock's ticking, and Kwesi's got to make a move before the season kicks off. Let's talk quarterback, because the Vikings just locked in their signal caller situation with some serious gusto. Trading Sam Howell to the Eagles, signing Carson Wentz, and cutting Brett Rippon? That's a full-on QB room makeover. J.J. McCarthy's the future, no doubt, but Wentz as a veteran backup brings some swagger and experience. This feels like a statement. The Vikings are all in on stability behind their rookie star. But here's the thing, Wentz hasn't played meaningful snaps in a while. Can he still sling it if McCarthy needs a breather? The Howell trade caught some of us off guard, especially after his preseason flashes, but it shows the front office is laser-focused on a clear hierarchy. Are we set at QB? Or is there still a wildcard move coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you make of the Wentz signing, Skull Nation? Is he the right mentor for McCarthy? Or should we have kept Howell? Drop your hot takes below, because this QB shakeup has me pumped for what's next. Let's keep the energy high as we dig into the next big question mark. The cornerback room is giving us all heart palpitations, and for good reason. Byron Murphy Jr. is our rock-solid CB1, coming off a Pro Bowl year with 6 picks in 2024. Isaiah Rodgers, fresh off a Super Bowl with Philly, is a lock for CB2. But after that, it's a gamble. Jeff Okudah, the former number 3 overall pick, is CB3, but his injury history and inconsistent play make him a wild card. Are we really trusting him to hold it down? Behind Okudah, the depth is razor-thin. Dwight McGlothern, Ambry Thomas, and rookie Zamea Vaughn are fighting for scraps, and none of them screamed starter in the preseason. The recent trade of Mekhi Blackmon to the Colts for a 2026 sixth-round pick shook things up even more. He was supposed to be a key piece, but now he's gone. This feels like a position where Kwesi and Brian Flores are plotting something big. Will they make a move before the deadline? Skull fans, are you worried about our cornerback depth? Or do you trust Flores to coach these guys up? Who's your dream addition to the secondary? Let's hear it in the comments. The Vikings' defense hinges on this group, So let's keep our eyes peeled for what's next. Speaking of the Blackmon trade, let's unpack that bombshell. Mekhi Blackmon was a fan favorite, a third-round pick who flashed serious potential in 2023 with a PFF All-Rookie nod. But after missing all of 2024 with an ACL tear and struggling in the 2025 preseason, the Vikings shipped him to Indy for a future pick. It's a gut punch, but it signals Kwesi's not sentimental. He's building for the future. This move leaves a gaping hole in the secondary. Blackmon was expected to compete for CB3 or at least be a reliable backup, but his departure means we're leaning hard on improving guys like McLaughlin and Vaughn. Is this a sign the Vikings are about to snag a veteran like Stephon Gilmore or Rasul Douglas? The rumor mill's churning, and I'm dying to see what's next. What do you think of the Blackmon trade, Vikings fans? Smart move to cut bait, or did we give up on him too soon? Drop your thoughts below because this one's got me torn. Let's see how this reshapes our defense as we head into the season. The cornerback market is heating up, and Vikings fans are buzzing about potential additions. Stephon Gilmore, a 5-time Pro Bowler who started for us in 2024, is still a free agent. At 35, he's not the lockdown corner he once was, but his experience could stabilize our shaky secondary. Then there's Rasul Douglas and Kendall Fuller, both proven vets who could slide in as CB3 or better. Any of these guys could be a game changer. The wild card here is Mike Hilton, who was just cut by the Dolphins. He's a blitz-happy nickel who could thrive in Brian Flores' aggressive scheme. Imagine him disrupting passing lanes while Murphy and Rodgers lock down the outside. But with the roster deadline looming, Kwesi's got to move fast. Who's the best fit to shore up this group? Skull Nation, who's your top pick to join the secondary? Gilmore for the familiarity, Hilton for the chaos, or someone else entirely? Hit the comments and let's get this debate going. The Vikings defense needs a spark, and I'm hyped to see who steps up. Back to the wide receiver crisis, let's talk trade targets. Trey Palmer from the Bucs is a name that keeps popping up. He's young, fast, and could be a perfect complement to Jefferson's route-running wizardry. Jacoby Myers from the Raiders is another option, though he'd likely be a pricier rental. Both guys could step into a WR2 role and keep our offense from stalling out early in the season. The Vikings could also look to the waiver wire or free agency for a low-cost option like Tyler Boyd. He's not a superstar, but he's reliable and knows how to get open. With Addison's suspension throwing a wrench in our plans, we need someone who can contribute right away. Who's the best bet to make an immediate impact? What's your take, Vikings fans? Should we go big with a trade for Myers or play it safe with a vet like Boyd? Drop your predictions in the comments. The receiver room is a puzzle, and I'm pumped to see how Kwesi solves it. The running back battle for RB3 is another storyline to watch. With Aaron Jones and Alexander Mattison likely locked in as the top two, the third spot is up for grabs. Xavier Scott's in the mix, but his ankle injury could complicate things. Ty Chandler's still hanging around, but his role's unclear. And then there's Cam Akers, who just got cut by the Saints. Could a reunion with the Vikings be in the cards? Akers knows Kevin O'Connell's system from his time here in 2023, and he could be a sneaky pickup if Scott's injury lingers. The Vikings love versatility in their backs, so whoever wins this job needs to catch passes and block for McCarthy. This battle's going down to the wire, and I'm glued to see who emerges. Skull fans, who's your pick for RB3? Akers for the familiarity, or someone else to surprise us? Let me know in the comments. The running back room could be a sneaky strength if we nail this decision. Tight end is another position where things are getting spicy. With TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver as the top two, the T3 spot is a toss-up between veteran Nick Vannett and undrafted rookie Ben Yurosek. Vannett's got the experience edge, but Yurosek's been turning heads with his athleticism. Do we keep 3 tight ends or go heavy with 4? This decision could shape how we use 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 running back to keep defenses guessing. O'Connell loves a versatile offense, so the T3 needs to block and catch. Yurosek's got the upside, but Vannett's reliability might win out. Who's got the edge as we hit the roster deadline? What do you think, Vikings faithful? Yurosek for the future or Vannett for the now? Drop your take in the comments. The tight end battle's heating up, and I'm stoked to see how it plays out. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture. The Vikings roster is a work in progress, but the potential is undeniable. The defensive line is stacked with young studs like Jalen Redmond and Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, especially after the Phillips trade. The offense has Jefferson and McCarthy, but the holes at receiver and cornerback could make or break our season. Kwesi's got his work cut out for him. The roster cut-down deadline, Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, is just the start. Expect more trades, waiver claims, and maybe a surprise signing or two. This team's built to compete, but the margin for error is slim. Are we a playoff contender, or are we one injury away from disaster? That's the question keeping me up at night. Skull Nation, are you feeling confident about this roster, or are we one move away from greatness? Let's hear your predictions in the comments. The deadline's looming, and I'm hyped to see how this shakes out. Let's circle back to the cornerbacks because this group's got me nervous. Brian Flores is a wizard at scheming up pressure, but even he needs talent to work with. Murphy's a stud, Rogers is ascending, but Okudah is a question mark, and the depth behind him is unproven. Losing Blackman hurts, and guys like McLaughlin and Vaughn need to step up big time. The Vikings could still swing a trade for someone like Rick Woolen from Seattle, who's reportedly on the block. He's a 6 feet 4 inches freak athlete who could transform our secondary. Or maybe Kwesi goes the free agent route with a vet like Kendall Fuller. Either way, Flores needs more bodies to run his aggressive schemes. What's the move you'd make? Who's the key to fixing our secondary, Vikings fans? A trade for Woolen, a reunion with Gilmore, or someone else? Drop your thoughts below. The cornerback room's a puzzle, and I'm dying to see how it comes together. The wide receiver market is another spot where Kwesi could get creative. KJ Osborne and Brandon Powell are familiar faces from the O'Connell era, and both could be had for a bargain. They know the system, which is huge with McCarthy still learning the ropes. A reunion could stabilize things until Addison's back in the mix. On the flip side, a guy like Trey Palmer brings speed and youth which could stretch defenses and open things up for Jefferson. The Vikings need someone who can make plays in a pinch, and Palmer's got that dog in him. Who's the better fit for our offense right now? I'm torn, so I need your help. Skull Nation, who's the ideal WR pickup? Osborne for the comfort, Palmer for the upside, or someone totally off the radar? Let's debate in the comments. The receiver room's a ticking time bomb, and I'm hyped to see who steps up. Let's talk about the defensive line for a second, because the Phillips trade opened the door for some young guns to shine. Jalen Redmond's been getting rave reviews, and Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins flashed in the preseason. These guys are raw but explosive, and they could make our front seven a nightmare for opponents. Without a true nose tackle, though, there's some risk. The Vikings are betting on athleticism over size, which fits Flores' attacking style. But can these youngsters hold up against run-heavy teams like the 49ers or Eagles? That's the million-dollar question as we head into the season. What do you think, Vikings fans? Are we set on the D-line, or do we need another big body? Drop your takes in the comments. The defensive front's got me excited, but I'm curious if you're feeling the same vibe. As we wrap this up, let's talk expectations. The Vikings are walking a tightrope, loaded with talent but thin in key spots. McCarthy's got the keys to the offense, Jefferson's a cheat code, and Murphy's leading a defense with serious potential. But the holes at receiver and cornerback could derail us if Kwesi doesn't plug them fast. The next few days are make or break. Will we see a blockbuster trade? A sneaky free agent signing? Or do we roll with what we've got and trust O'Connell and Flores to coach up the youth? I'm buzzing with anticipation, and I know you are too. This is our year, Skull Nation. Let's make some noise. Vikings faithful, what's your bold prediction for the 2025 season? Super Bowl run? Or are we a year away? Hit the comments, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video with every Vikings fan you know. Skull, let's ride this wave together.